Good effort. Oh, what a goal! Woohoo! So, welcome back. This is part 2 of Astley and Buckshaw's podcast. We're going to move on to, we don't just have a first team. We have several teams at Astley and Buckshaw. And we brought on board an under-18s team this season and an open age team as well. Now, the exciting thing is with the under-18s is that they've got a semi-final to play in a couple of weeks. And so they're basically one step away from a final. For the first season, they've been in the Sunday...
Yeah, Lancashire Sunday League.
That's the one. Yeah, couldn't think then. There's so many leagues bouncing around in the Northwest, Youth Alliance and all that. So they are touching on very close to getting to a final. That'd be fantastic for the first season with us. We also have a Sunday team as well, which is headed up by Ian and Yamo, two very, very nice blokes. They do actually come down and watch us sometimes, the first team, on a Saturday when they get time. But yeah, I'm just going to pass you over to Paul, just let him explain a little bit more about the 18s and the open team on a Sunday.
Yeah, okay. So last year was obviously our first season in existence, so we had one team. This year, we want to continue on the journey, and we set up a club. So to set up the club, you have to have more than one team. So last summer was an awful lot of hard work trying to get the affiliation done and the insurance set up, qualifications set up for each of the three teams. So we brought in Kieran and Dave. They were at the old Astley and Buckshaw JFC. So they merged with another team, Wimbledon Wanderers, to form our new under-18 side. And we brought in the old Walton and Dale Wanderers, headed up by Yamo and Ian as secretary. They came across. They were playing on a park pitch last season, and they were drawn by the facilities here at Brookfields. And so we hopped on their affiliation. We changed names to Astley and Buckshaw United, and we formed the one club now. It's a very exciting venture. The idea, obviously, we want to create a player pathway. Let the 18s have their first season as an 18s squad, and then look perhaps next year to set in stone our player pathway. So the idea is that the lads in the 18s have somewhere to aim for, that they can move up to the adult team in time if they show that desire quality. So already this season we've had a couple of lads on the bench for the first team from the 18s. And hopefully next year or next season we'll move on and perhaps have some of the lads moving up, perhaps playing in pre-season, and perhaps look to move up to the first team eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the key things is we just mentioned some of the 18s being on the bench is experience, isn't it? Just to be involved on a match day and I'd say maybe get 10, 15 minutes at the end of the game, just being involved, it's great experience for if they do decide to move forward with the first team, experience is key from my experience with my son. It's brilliant for them to be involved as well as part of a team as well. Would you agree there, Dave?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I've had the keeper, one of the youth team keepers, a few times, just churning in with a warm up and stuff, and we've spoken to his parents, and yeah, he's loved it. He's even run the line for us every now and again.
Yeah.
Just to be involved and see what it's like and experiencing it. It's like it's something different for them, I suppose. They could be sat at home doing nothing on a Saturday, but they might be going watching football, but they could actually be being involved. And that's what we're trying to get across. We don't want to take all of his players or anything like that. Just the ones that have got potential, who could actually help the first team along the way. They might come on, score the winner. They might score. You just don't know. Make a highlight for them, I suppose. But to be fair, Kieran is doing really well. We are really impressed with his training sessions. He's like the in depth that he goes to. I went to Scotland with him when they first set up. He had a massive squad. Just pre-season, he went to Scotland, a few trips there. Don't get me wrong, Kieran had the lads nailed on. They listened to him, everything. I can't fault Kieran and Dave. They're doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, like circling back to Kieran, I mean, obviously he's quite a young lad himself, and he plays for Padiham, so that he's got first team experience himself as well. I think Padiham are going quite all right in the Northwest Counties. Is that right? They play in the Northwest Counties, so it's quite a good standard of football that he's bringing. And like I say, I've seen them play this season, and I've been impressed how well they actually play as a team, moving up and down the pitch. And I honestly think they can get to the cup final in a couple of weeks' time. They're that good, you know. He has everyone involved at the under 18s level have done a very good job, and the lads who do play on a week in week out all they all play as a team. They all seem
Right.
united, and and they play some damn good football as well. So full credit to everybody who's been involved there.
Yeah.
But like I say moving on really. Like I say, obviously we have another team, Sunday team, who play in the which division's that, Paul?
Against the Lancashire Sunday League.
That's right, yeah.
It's a decent level of football. Okay, they're older. Some of these lads perhaps won't be playing football for much longer. But the good thing is, it means that if we get some injuries or players coming back from injury, perhaps suspension, and they want to get some football before they move back into the first team, they got the option of being signed up for Yamo's side to play in there. I mean, we've had one of our lads already. He needs some fitness, and he's played for the Sunday team. I mean, a lot of the lads do play for Sunday teams anyway. A lot of the lads from the first team, but yeah, again, it brings another style of football into the club. And the good thing is, well, Ian is a vastly experienced secretary as well. He's offered me no end of support this season. It's trying to manage three teams' paperwork is difficult, so he takes on a lot of the slack for me.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you. I think Ian's been very valuable this season. Like I say, he's a groundsman as well, isn't he? Does football pitches. I think he's quite vastly experienced when it comes to marking out pitches and stuff, white lines and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of goes back to our pitch as well, back at Brookfields. I mean, let's say it's immaculate, really. It's the amount amazing when sometimes you think Saturday morning you're waiting for a pitch inspection and you think, is it going to be on? Is it not going to be on? And you think, well, if it's at home, there's a probably a good 80%, 90% chance it's actually going to be on.
Yeah.
I mean, it still amazes me sometimes where you've been nailed on. You're thinking, nah, this game not going to be on, especially when playing away at Freckleton, and then you get a call, game's on. What? Yeah, having a laugh. No, we're not. Game's on. So, like I say, and the I think the biggest thing I've seen as well with the first team as well this season is that we can mix it up. We can play some very good football on the grounds, but when we've got to get stuck in and we have to play it long, and hit teams on the break, we can do that. And I think that was probably the one of the standout performances when we played Freckleton away. I mean, Freckleton probably had 75% of the ball first half, second half, but we hit him on the break and we scored 4 very, very good goals. But like I say, that's been another key thing for our team this season. We can play football at Brookfields, but we can get stuck in if needs be and grind out results. Would you agree there, Dave?
Yeah, I totally agree with Dave. And I touched on it in the first episode. Like we sometimes we do get a few yellow and red cards, but it's showing the desire that they've got. Don't get me wrong, they do like getting a tackling and stuff, which is good. But other than that, yeah, I can't second to none. Class.
Yeah, it's. Would you add to that as well, Paul?
Very much so. I mean, you, when people ask who I'm a secretary for, and you mention Astley and Buckshaw in the West Lancs League, and it's step 12 or something like that. You look at the quality of the football on the pitch. You look at the desire of our team. You look at the attitude of our team. You look at the application of our team. You look at the fitness. It's great quality football, and you don't look back at after a game and think, oh, didn't enjoy that very much, because they just keep going and going and going, and it's all down to I'd say the attitude of the lads, but that comes to the management as well. You got the two Dans and you got Craig as well. I'd love to see the three of them working together again next season, because they've all got a different piece of the jigsaw to add to the management team. It's just they work very well together. They've all got different aspects or different skills to bring to the table, and I'm sure they'll bring the very best out of the lads, and they'll make a real good go of it wherever we are next season.
Yeah, I think, like I say, all three of them. I'll say, very, very approachable people, very nice to talk to. And I think as well, from experience, from being involved this season and last season, is that they let us do what we need to do behind the scenes, and they just get on with the football themselves. They don't have to worry about what's going on, on going the running of the club and stuff. They just get on with the football. And like I say, whether it's anything from training sessions to warm-up sessions, it's all integral part of the match day experience. They're just all involved at the same time, and it's been really good to see, to be honest with you. And it's good to talk to them as well after the game, because I say, obviously when you're stood on the sidelines filming, what I see through a camera lens is totally different to what they're seeing from the sidelines. And I think sometimes, let's say, I have spoke to them on quite a few occasions. They like watching the game back because they see it from a different side as well. Because like I say, when you're stood there, you're watching only fractions of the game, whereas when you're playing it back, you get to see all the game. So yeah, to me, there's really good set of lads, and I'm glad I'm being part of this club as well. To get involved.
Yeah.
So
What I like about the management is that they're very humble gents.
yes,
You
yeah,
talk to Dan Brown, and he just strikes me every time. Perhaps we've not had a great game, perhaps we had a loss. He's very apologetic about it. He's very humble. He's quite reflective, and you can see that he's perhaps hurting as much as everybody else, as he really feels it. But then he'll look forward to the next game, and he'll work out a way with Craig and Dan Shaw as well, of how we're going to approach the next game. It's one game at a time. I mean, we talked about Dalton before. We lost there. We lost 2-1, didn't we? And I think everybody was hurting after the game. And like I say, Dan apologised, but like we say, it's a team effort, and not just on but off the pitch as well. And say he'll build them up, and he'll buoy them up for the next game as well. And we've not had that next game yet. We'll hopefully get it soon. But once we do, we know that the lads will go out there. That they know they've got 2 games left to get ourselves over the line.
yeah. It's yeah, I agree with you again there, Paul. It's a we circle back to this weather situation, don't we? We potentially could be playing our last game on the 20th of April, but now, let's say it looks like we're going to be looking at maybe the beginning of May, possibly for a potential rescheduled game against Exton Villa.
I'm chatting with the Exton secretary. I mean, they're a victim of the weather as much as anybody else, and I was talking with them with Hugh, who's the secretary there, about the possibility of organising a game between ourselves and putting that to the West Lancs League and say, right, this is the fixture we've decided. But that they're busy every single Saturday in April. They've also got a couple of midweekers. So at the moment, it's looking like the very, very tail end of April, perhaps early May. That'll be finishing the season off at home, which will be nice. and celebrating celebrating the game, however it turns out in TT's bar. Wind down together and celebrate the fact we've had whatever happens has been a great season. But we'll put that fixture potentially to the West Lancs League, and hopefully they'll rubber stamp it, and we can perhaps look at probably 30th April, 1st of May, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Yeah, well, like I say, it'd be nice to have a night game because I don't think we had. No, I think we last night game was back in August. I think memory serves me right. Yeah, yeah, that's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago.
Yes, it's so Dave, do you just want to say a few words about sponsorship and what you were talking about before, so we can?
Yeah, just a thank you to the sponsors as well, coming down when I've been asking them to come and have a chat and look at the facility. Some people are getting no, not interested, and when you actually show them the facility, they actually have a second thought and think it's got potential. They might use it for events like at the end of the season. They might have a Christmas do there, or something like that. Just showing them and what they're actually investing in and explaining on what we're doing behind the scenes, what they're doing on the field, and where the club wants to go, and telling them to start from the start and not come halfway through. And they can be on this journey with us, really. And spending my Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights. I know it might sound a bit crap to you lot, but trying to sell the facility. I sold it to Paul within an hour. He said was like all over the place. He wanted to come, but that the sponsors, it's just, I really thank them all for investing in the club. And we probably wouldn't be where we are as a club without the sponsors. To get us over the line with the extra income and stuff. I just can't thank them enough.
Yeah, and like I say, just to add to that, like I say, I think from the social media side of things, and we've hardly touched on it tonight, to be honest with you. I think social media is a massive platform to supporting and advertising your football team, especially Twitter. I mean, we've got over 1,000 followers now on Twitter, which is amazing. And we've got some very key people who do follow us. And like I say, once you put a flyer out, say that you've got an upcoming game this weekend, and people start to like it and then retweet it, and then before you know it, you've got 5,000, 1,500 people have viewed it, and it's mad, really. People started looking at you thinking, well, yeah, we're doing something right here, it's, I mean, we had, I think we got a couple of thousand views for the recent the Easter egg gathering we did for Darien House, Paul, with, I think the other week, I think we put a picture on with Easter eggs all sat on a sofa. I think all the amount of Easter eggs you've collected, and let's say we put that out, it was retweeted a couple of times, and we've got several thousand views. It just goes to show people are viewing it and watching it, and it's quite exciting, really. Would you?
And it's getting out there as well. Go on, Paul.
I think you came up with an amazing stat the other day, Dave. We had we called a game off. I think it was Exton. The game was off because of the weather. We had 8,000 views of that tweet. You look at that, and you just show this is where we are. A little club. We nicknamed ourselves last season the Dog and Ducks. We're a little team in Astley Village, and now look at us. I mean, you started off, and this is all credit to you, Dave. You were Harrison's dad, who came down to film the games as a voluntary thing, and then you look at the end of the season, you suddenly cameraman Dave, who's renowned throughout the league for your little witticisms, and commentary as the goals go in or we miss. And it's things like that that are putting us out there. You kindly filmed the West Lancs League Stuart Road Trophy at Brookfields the other week. It's just something that we put out there to the West Lancs League and both teams. And it's just showing what we can do as a team, as a club, as a group of volunteers, and it's just getting the place known.
Yeah. I mean, thanks for that, Paul. I mean, if we're going about thanking people, then I think I've got to thank Danny Shaw, actually, because he's the one who set up the YouTube channel in the very first place. He said, you know, I said, I can set it up for you and then you run with it. Like I say, it's took some serious studying, YouTube videos, and to understand the processes, the hashtags, I've had experience. Well, I've had help from Chip in with his video in. I've had help from Grassroots Live using different apps, for streaming and stuff. But like I say, end of the day, it is voluntary and it's not my full-time job. Although I would won't say no to a full-time job in this. It's been absolutely fantastic what I've learned, and like I say, the people I've got to know and stuff. It's I can't believe how much it's taken off, especially since Christmas. It's just gone to another level. I mean, at the moment we've got nearly 250 subscribers on a YouTube channel. Some may say it's not a lot of that, but the amount of people who are subscribed at the moment, we've gained nearly 50 in the last couple of months. And, you keep that rate up between now and the end of the year, then you're looking at 500 subscribers, and it does take time to build up subscribers. But like I said, the more people do it and the more people start to watch it, then other people get involved and you start thinking, well, yeah, I'm doing something right here,
We
It's
get a gold plaque soon.
well, maybe, Dave. You never know. I'm still waiting for that golden contract just to tie me down so I don't disappear off the BBC.
I've got Paul to write you one up.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. No, got to keep that one under wraps, Dave.
Yeah.
But you look at where we are now. I mean, my goodness, we are in our second year of existence, and you look at where we've come, and it's just this is what attracted me to the club. But we've far surpassed where I thought we'd be. Far surpassed. What we got. We got X or Twitter. We got Face. I was going to say FaceTime then, but Facebook. We've got YouTube. We've got Instagram, and we're moving into TikTok now. I hope we're not going to be having to do dances or whatever on the side of the pitch. That's not exactly my style, but we've come so far in such a little time, and we're getting known for it, and it's just an amazing journey. And obviously I won't be around, and I don't think many of us will be around. But in 100 years' time, when somebody writes a book about the history of Astley and Buckshaw United, and where we've come from, and we really should be documenting this about how far we've come, so that one day we'll be renowned in history. You never know, might be playing in the Prem. We'll see.
Well, you never.
Touch on that as well, Paul. just touch on that as well. I managed to get the U Clan Preston involved. Even though only 2 years old, to get some students down and try and help them in their degree and help us as a club to, fulfill and help us out with the behind the scenes and on the field. So they have to do so many hours on a Saturday with us, and it's helping us, and it looks more professional, as I say. So just massive thank you to U Clan Preston. And we should see more coming for the next season on whatever it could be.
Yeah, because we've had a physio, haven't we? Is that right?
Yeah.
And have we got another student who's doing social creativity?
Media.
Social media.
Yeah, just doing a few posts for us, and we've got a few thank you for the sponsors. She's just drafting us some of them up. So we'll be going hand delivering them. Which is good. She's doing loads of things behind the scenes, but there should be some stuff coming out soon.
Oh, that's brilliant. And like I say, it's as well as we approach the end of the season, as I call it, the business end of the season. It's even when the season finishes, it doesn't stop. You may get a month off, before the crazy season starts again, because, before you know it, pre-season starts in June. Pre-season starts in June, fitness and all that, and then the pre-season games start in July, and then around the beginning of August, the league kicks off again.
Crazy.
You're cramming nearly 8 games into August, just because of daylight and stuff like that. But would you change it? I wouldn't
No.
personally. No.
No.
Won't
I think
change
that's why I've been in non-league for 20 odd years now, and it's part of me. You know, I love being
Yeah.
part of it. You know, I was probably, well, I wouldn't say I was moaning, but probably a bit exasperated last summer when trying to get the club affiliated. It took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and that's probably my contribution. But you know, throughout the season, you know, is Dave Pennington bringing in the commercial sponsorship and bringing the students, you setting up and creating the media and cutting it and editing it and putting it out there. You know, it's just a fantastic group effort, and it's a small family that I'm very proud to be part of. And you know, I think it'd be nice if we could grow the committee a little bit next season, get some people to take some of the slack. I mean, we've had Ian this season, who's helped out from the open age team, and as I said before, I can't thank him enough for taking some of the slack off me in terms of the secretarial stuff. But he's got ideas about how we can take the club forwards. You know, I think one group of people that we can't forget is the Chorley Community Trust, our landlords,
Yes.
who gave us a very, very good, I won't say contract, but user agreement for the use of Brookfields. We've got a nice long lease there, and because of that, we can start looking at applying for grants for next season to help improve the facility. I mean, I know personally I'd love to see some fences around the pitch to make it look a bit tidy around there. We've also got some building work. The trust have put in some building work already on 3G training facilities at the bottom end of the pitch. So that should hopefully be there sort of winter time. So maybe we can think about winter training more locally rather than having to trek all the way to Preston.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously one of the things that sold the place to me, you know, you've got planning permission already in for floodlights. I mean, with the need for floodlights is a way off yet. I mean, it's Northwest Counties level that you've got to start thinking about getting floodlights in. And we've got to get 50 covered seats. We've got specially strengthened steps there. We can put seats in if need be. So the future is there. I mean, you know, it's baby steps for me. You know, we're not going to be there in the next sort of 3, 4, 5 years time. You know, we've got to get ourselves established as a club, take little steps, and you just never know where we're going to be. But you know, without ambition, you know what you know, I will still enjoy it, but we've got to have some sort of ambition to move on onwards and upwards.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be honest with you, you know, you can put your seats to one side, you can put your full lights to one side. I need my media stand. I need my media stand. You know, if we're broadcasting across the world, then we need cameraman there needs a bit of shelter from rain.
Failed his planning application that day.
Yeah. Well, one day we can all drink, can't we?
Depends how the local elections go in May, mate. You know, whether planning permission will go through for it or not.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait for Paul to tell me he wants an office next.
Well, it has been mentioned. I would like an office, but you know, maybe a little seat in the corner of the pitch might do me, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I think also while we're on the podcast, we mentioned everybody more or less to do with the club. But I think we need to give a special thanks to Stacey of TC's Sports Bar.
Yes.
She's taken over the running of the bar. Okay, it's separate from the club. It's not our clubhouse, but she does not make us feel welcome.
Yeah.
You know, she puts food on after every single game, not just the first team, but the 18s and the Sunday open age team. She puts food on for them, makes us feel very welcome, and it's testament to Stacey that lads will want to stay back after the game.
Yeah.
She does a fantastic job there, and you know, special thanks to her and her staff.
And let's not forget, she has actually decorated TCs with all the football scarves and to make it feel like a football club as well, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you know, collectively we're all separate parts of the same jigsaw. So we've got the trust, we've got the football club, we've got TCs, but you know, it makes you feel very, very special to have facilities like this, and for people to come to us and look at what Astley and Buckshaw United have got. Not just players, not just fans, but you know, potential players. We've had players come here already because they want to be playing at Brookfield. So it's a very, very good draw. So very, very fortunate that we're part of this great journey.
Yeah, totally agreeing with you. So we're going to end it there because we're nearly out of time. So I'm just going to wrap it up with a few brief words. Okay. So thank you very much, Dave and Paul, for tonight's podcast. This has been our very, very first podcast, hopefully one of many to come. Hopefully people will listen to this and have a bit of more of an insight into Astley and Buckshaw United from a committee point of view on what we do behind the scenes. And hopefully we'll see you again very soon.
Thank you very much, Dave. Much
Thank you very much.
appreciated.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave.
No worries.